Legacy Evolution Wave 2 is finally out, and Legacy Evolution Wave 1, it's been a rough wave. It's not bad. Certain parts definitely are, but it's not a terrible wave. But, man, nothing really got me excited. You know, every single wave in Legacy so far has had one or more figures that I really need to get. I was like, I need to get that. Wave 1 had Skids, Blaster, although that was technically a PR, but, you know, whatever. Even, like, Kickback. Wave 2 had Blitzwing, Tarantulas, Motormaster. Wave 3 had Skullgrin, Dragon, Megatron, Inferno. And then Legacy Evolution, Wave 1 had, Kimba Prime? Like, there were some figures that I was interested in, like the core class Dinobots, before I found out how garbage they were. You know, the idea is pretty cool. But really, the only two figures that I felt like I needed to get were Leo Prime, which I thought was just kind of cool, but, like, I didn't really want it as much as the other figures that were must get in the other waves. And Hotshot, who's also kind of a joke. You know, those are two characters I view as kind of jokes that I don't have any personal attachment to. Fortunately, seems like they've changed that with Wave 2, because Animated Prowl, hell yes. I love this figure, and I've almost forgot how cool it is to get a Transformer that genuinely excites you.
What do I owe you?
That'll be worth $25. $25 for an average deluxe? Adequate price?
You know what this feels like? I remember the Smash Ultimate DLC. It was, you know, after the base game, which gave me so many cool characters, it was all just a bunch of anime sword fighters, like one or two picks that I'm like, okay, cool. Them being in Smash is fine, like Steve, Banjo. But, like, other than that, they're all just kind of, just, I don't hate them. I mean, I hate a couple of them, but it's not, like, abysmal, but it's just so not my thing. And then Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl comes in. It's like, yeah, Jimmy Neutron, your favorite Nickelodeon show? We're going to add your favorite character. It's like animated, your second favorite Transformers show? We'll make your favorite character. And it's been just so goddamn cool. Because I love Animated Prowl. And I thought, well, this isn't going to be a proper review, because I will be talking about them later, especially this figure that I'm bringing in now. I think it's a pretty good time to compare Transformers Prime with Arcee, because they're both redesigns of bike characters that were fairly popular from their shows, but they're also pretty, you know, drastically altered. And I want to talk about why Animated Prowl works so well and Prime Arcee is just terrible. You see, this one still has the silhouette of Animated Prowl. It's got all the major details, but then there's the head. It still retains all of the major details, even if it doesn't have the same stylization. All of the details are there. Whereas this figure is basically just the original design of Prime Arcee, but they thickened her up a little bit despite all of the major details being there, and the head sculpt still has all of the major details that told you that this was Prime Arcee, except they made the face look like G1. Why do people like this one over this one? They're the same execution. They're very similar execution. But you know what? Maybe, let's just take a look at this. It only looks like Prime Arcee because of the colors. If you took away all of the color, it wouldn't look anything like Prime Arcee. Oh, it kind of does. And they did have the repaint, which still looked like Prime Arcee, but just black and flames. But anyways, let's actually compare the two, because I think they're both cool toys. I definitely really like both of these designs. I know I kind of make fun of Prime a little bit. I'm not an asshole. You know, I tried to give the show a fair shot, and it was alright. Prime Arcee, despite being kind of an unlikable character in my opinion, does have a pretty cool redesign. I quite dig it. It's very interesting. Now, granted, I still like G1 Arcee better than Prime Arcee, but they're both valid. This is just a reinterpretation, and she can stand alongside my Earthrise or Studio Series Arcee, whichever one. But it's kind of an unfair comparison because this is animated Prowl, who also looks really cool. The difference is, I fucking hate G1 Prowl. Do you hate G1 Prowl too, kitty cat? You see, I remember when I was a kid, I knew all the big guys in G1, and I was like, okay, so Optimus Prime, yeah, Bumblebee, Jazz, Ironhide, Ratchet, Prowl. What the fuck? Oh, Prowl? What the fuck is Prowl? Turns out he's got the most boring body type you can expect for an Autobot. It's like no personality with the design.
Hood, chest, door wings.
And he turns into a police car. Like, that's literally his defining character trait. He turns into a police car. But then with this, there's actual character. Yes, he is a police officer, but he's also a ninja. He's a samurai, and he turns into a police bike. You know, this is my ideal Prowl. Now, does that mean they have to stop using the original Prowl design just because I don't like it? No. But I am satisfied that we do have a more, I guess, average, middle ground design for this. While I always will have a soft spot for Animated's design philosophy, this still retains pretty much all of the characteristics that the original design has, but, you know, now it's more versatile, you know? And I think that's what they're trying to do with, oh, what the fuck? And I think that's what I think that's what they're trying to go for with these redesigns, you know? They're great character designs that have been adapted so they can be used in things that isn't just the original source material. So, you like this? You think this is a better design than G1 Arcee? Okay, then you can use this as your main Arcee to go along with everything else. You like animated Prowl like me more than the normal one, and you think this should be the status quo? Well, yeah, here you go. This is what animated Prowl would look like as the status quo. And I'm happy with it. I am very, very happy with it. Interesting thing is, though, I feel like this is a bit more faithful to what Prime Arcee looks like. But it doesn't really have any of the personality of the design. It's just she's got like a G1 face straight up. She doesn't have any of the sass. Personally, I don't mind. But, you know, you look at this and it's like, that looks enough like Prowl, I guess. You know, it's got all the details. But it's very subtle. It still retains a lot of the stuff that the original had. He's got the big chin, the helmet. It's very subtle, but you pick up on it, and you're like, that is really cool. I think it's a very nice translation. Now, as for weapons, she just got the shoulder blades that you can hold either like right here or right here. I think that looks terrible, so I just do this. Yeah. And you can also take this off, and you can open it up like that, and it's a drone, I guess. Like what is that? What is that? Like that is not a weapon. I don't know what the point of that is. No, I just close that up and I leave that plugged in onto the back. And as for Prowl over here, he's got some weapons that are very good at hiding, but you know, some people have had issues with the getting stuck, and it's kind of gotten stuck on me. It's not that hard to pull it out of place, but it can be a little annoying. Yeah, he holds it in one hand very well. It's kind of cool if he held it a little loose so you could like toss it and it'd be like a little gimmick. And he has this arm so you can hold, you know, normal weapons for the most part. Yeah, he actually, despite the fact that he has an open hand, he holds it very, very well. Because I remember back when they did this for like the Generations figures, like, you know, Rhinox didn't hold things particularly well, but the grip here is perfectly fine. I wouldn't mind if those were just the standard hands on Transformers now, because they work just about as well. Also, the hole is a little less ugly. I guess we'll go over articulation. Let's just go over Prime Arcee. Ball joint at the head. She can look up that far, back and forth, a little bit of side to side. Shoulders rotate all the way around. They go out that far. Bicep swivel. Bend in the elbow. And actual wrist articulation. That's pretty nice. Waist articulation, but it's a little bit awkward. Also, make sure you don't pop this out of place. It's really annoying to put it back into place. Does that count as an ab crunch? Not really. She has really good legs. I mean, god damn, that's flexible, motherfucker. Goes back that far, out that far, a 90-degree knee bend, and ankle pivot. Also a little bit of toe articulation. And this is the widest stance you can get with both feet flat on the floor. Right there. So, yeah. You know, with the really nice legs and ankle pivot, she actually has some pretty good articulation. Although something that's annoying is that, you know, there's like the peg hole and the peg right here. I have a misassembled figure. Can you see that? The peg's right here. The peg hole's on the other side. That's really unfortunate. I think it's that. So, very unfortunate, and it's kind of annoying, but it's not unmanageable. It's not loose or anything. It's just a little obnoxious. Alright, as for animated Prowl, he's got a surprisingly, like a really good ball joint in the head. Can look up very far, side to side. Very nice rotation in the shoulders, and they go out that far. Bicep swivel, of course. Elbow bend. No wrist swivel, but you can kind of do this, which can be like, I don't know, you can grab something. It's not very useful, but, you know, in some cases it can be kind of okay. Waist swivel, that's much better. It actually does have an ab crunch, which is very nice. Very tight legs, but I don't mind that. Go back that far. Universals that have like a weird click, but oh my god. Thigh swivel. Really nice knee bend that you can make even better with that point of articulation. And then ball joint ankles, so you can move up and down, swivel back and forth, which is very nice. And a little bit, not that much of a pivot. I wish there's like a little bit of a cutoff there so you could allow for more, but that's the widest stance, unfortunately. But you could definitely futz with it to get some really good articulation. Because otherwise, yeah, very nice articulation. So both of them have pretty nice articulation. They feel like really nice action figures, which kind of makes sense for the character design. I can't say which one's better because, well, that's not what this video is about. I will say I kind of like this one more, but I'm very biased. Okay. They're both really cool interpretations of the character. Okay, so let's get this transformed. So, they're both kind of complex, but I don't really mind that. People complain about this one for some reason. It's not hard. It's actually kind of fun. I do like fun transformations that are slightly complex, so you just turn that around and lay it flat like right there. Disconnect the body, rotate the waist, rotate the panties, the tights or whatever the fuck they are. And that goes up right here. These shoulder pieces move down, rotate that around. These go down to cover up the hands. Plug that into place. Okay, and then you're just gonna untap that, and that will plug in right there. I'll move in right that. Overall, not too bad. It's actually kind of fun. It's satisfying. It's a cool transformation. And then you bring these out. Oh. Sometimes the thigh swivel and the joint right there can kind of get disconnected. That can be kind of annoying. But, you know, otherwise, not too bad. Not too bad. Plug that into place. Okay. Now, unfortunately, there is one difficult step. Oh, make sure that's up there. And it's getting these plugged into, like, right here and right here. There's a peg and a peg. Peg hole. Peg hole. But it can be a little tedious sometimes to getting it lined up. It doesn't, like, staying in place. But it's not usually that bad. Oh, there it went. Gonna be a problem on camera. That's for sure. That's for true. Okay, but it wasn't too bad. Just give it a good squeeze. Lift down the bike stand. And there you go. Now for weapon storage, you can either plug them right here, or what I like to do, I just plug them on. And one thing I like about this is the Energon weapons. You know, usually they're just kind of side things, but they're the Energon blades. It makes sense. It makes sense why they're Energon weapons, and you know, they're accurate to the character. Very nice. Unfortunately, they had to remove that for Evo Fusion, which is the dumbest fucking gimmick on the planet, but, you know, that's okay. Now, this guy's transformation, really fun. So, there's a couple ways you can do it. You're gonna lift this down, lift this head up, like that. And then you're gonna, also, you might want to rotate this waist. Move that out. There you go. Make sure you don't scrape the top of the head. You don't want to paint chip anything, although There's not much to paint chip because the top of the head isn't painted, but, you know, just be careful, I guess. And then you're going to want to rotate these parts down. They actually make it out to be really complicated in the instructions, but it's not that difficult. And I think what you want to do is make sure that the one with the kickstand, which that one is on the back, I think it's, yeah, like that. And then you got to make sure that this joint is exposed, but not this one. Yep. And then, of course, these are going to fold back. Now, unfortunately, these are supposed to plug into place. They don't really plug into place on mine, which is unfortunate. Yeah, that's kind of stupid, but whatever. And you're going to make sure that there's like a little knee pad that's going to plug into like a little gray area. Going to fold that down right there. And then this one, you're going to fold this up and get it between here. And if you have the stars in place, oh, I don't have it in place, it can be a little tedious, or it doesn't want to comply. Get that in there, and that will slide into the front. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, they make it out to be like really difficult. It's not really. I'll make sure, yeah, that's in there. So there you go. And there's a way to get it like fully in there. I'm not really gonna bother. Oh yeah, also that folds down to be the bike seat. Pretty nice. Pretty good, pretty good. All nice. And fold out the kickstand. And I'm going to move this back into place. Plug that in right there. Make sure everything's nice and tabbed together. That's about the best it's going to be. That's not too bad, actually. Oh, but that got untabbed. No. Yep. And that got untabbed. So it's kind of unfortunate. And balance it on the kickstand. Make sure the foot's in the right place. And there you go. The two bikes together. And I gotta say that one is definitely better than the other. Let's get on to the better one, which is unfortunately not this one. So this is a very nice bike. It's a little bulky, but hey, I don't mind. There's a kibble, I guess, but it's not really that noticeable. There's no real seat, but there is details inside the bike, which is nice. It's a very traditional bike. It actually looks like a real-life bicycle. Everything's in a nice and proper place. And the kickstand works wonderfully. You can even turn the front tire, which is, get it to turn. Pretty nice. Yeah, this is a very nice bicycle. I am not dissatisfied with it at all. Make sure that the shoulders are in the correct place. Don't have much else to say. It's a very nice bike. Unfortunately, animated Prowl is just not as good. Now, I will say, I do like the stylization of it with, like, the back end of it when it wants to fucking tab into place. It's got an actual seat. I do like how the back of the Prowl head does have very subtle details that look like, I don't know, maybe thrusters or something in bot mode, but here it's like details for the bike mode. Kind of reminds me of Prime Arachnid, which, kind of ironic considering they're being compared with Prime Arcee. But it's actually done pretty good. And I just really like the stylization of it. But unfortunately, it's kind of a fucking mess. Like, oh.
Oh, no.
Oh no. His alt mode kind of sucks. You know what? From a certain position, it's not bad. But man, oh no. Oh damn. Oh no. Why are you like this, animated Prowl? Why are you like this? Also, things just don't tab together. The foot doesn't tab together. I guess that tabs in. But, that doesn't tab in. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. That's a certainty. Or things that are supposed to tab in, like that, and that, they don't want to tab in. And the kickstand's kind of unusual. It doesn't work where, like, it genuinely, like, comes out of the way to stop it. It's very short, and it barely makes it balance. But it's not ineffective. And I will say, even if it's not a perfect bike mode, it is nice to have both of them right here. So, conclusion. Prime Arcee is probably the most overhated Legacy figure. Everyone says it's really bad. I don't really get it. I guess it could be like a simplification of Prime Arcee, and people are really attracted to Prime Arcee, so I can kind of see it. They made her, like, less really spindly. Doesn't have as much curves, you know, so you can repaint her into other characters. But, I mean, I don't really mind. I always found her face to be kind of creepy. The Prime faces without the nose just look like Voldemort. So, I'll live without it. There's a couple of design changes like this that are a little bit of a downgrade when it comes to the old toy. But, I mean, still, on its own, it's a perfectly fine figure. It definitely looks like the character. It captures, maybe not the personality of the character, but it still does look a lot like the character. And it's a nice robot mode. It's satisfying. It's fun to pose. Its transformation's complex. It's got a nice alt mode. It's a good toy. I'm not going to officially rank it because I will do that later. But you know what? It gets the thumbs up for me. I think it's a good toy. And then, as for Prowl, I definitely love it. It's my favorite Transformer that I picked up this year, at least the new Transformer, because I did also pick up the Combiner Wars Bruticus, so that one is a bit of a close second, but when it comes to the new stuff, this one's definitely my favorite. I really like the character. They nailed a lot of why I like it. I just wish the alt mode was better. It's got a reasonably fun transformation. It's, like, not terrible. It's not unfun. So it's kind of worth it to transform it into the alt mode, because even if the alt mode's kind of weak, the process is enjoyable. So, oh, yeah. You know, I'll give it that. Oh, wait, no, this is the front. Sorry. Sometimes I get these steps kind of confused, and it can kind of clash at times, but it's nothing too bad, and I think it's a cool-ass toy. Is it a great Transformer? I'm not sure yet. I'll have to settle, but I definitely really appreciate this. I don't know if it's as good as the original toy. It's better on a couple of stuff, but yeah, I quite like this toy, and I'm very, very happy with it. Kind of reminds me of how Hugh Neutron wasn't the best character. I think he's probably like a mid-tier, because I don't remember anyone talking about how good he was after launch. But then again, I don't really hear people playing Nick All-Star Brawl, so that makes me sad. I like that game. But he's a little difficult to play, so a lot of people got bummed out. But, you know, me, I'm still satisfied, and I'm glad to have something that's just genuinely makes me happy. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had that. Like, I still remember when I got Hotshot and Leo Prime. I literally got it because my first figure was Breakdown. I was so dissatisfied. I'm like, this is how we're starting off? I need something good. I need something that will, like, bring me some amount of joy. And they did just that, but, like, it was not like, oh, I love this. It's like, okay, cool. But this genuinely I'm very happy with. The fact that it exists in my home makes me very, very happy. And at the end of the day, despite the flaws, that's all you really want, isn't it? So, yeah. I like both of these toys. I'm not sure which one's better, but I do like this one more. But again, that's just bias. So this isn't really much of a review, but just kind of overview of Prime Arcee and animated Prowl. I finally can say I do not need the Earthrise Prowl, because while that is G1 Prowl, I'm not interested in an Earthrise Prowl. I already have Blue Streak. I don't even like that toy. So, I'm just going to put this with my 84 stuff. Yes, I am dead fucking serious. As for you, we'll take a closer look at you in just a second. Although, unfortunately, that did get delayed because my Skywarp, before I got any footage of it, fucking broke. But hey, on the bright side, I swapped out the broken Skywarp's head with the Starscream one, which looked like fucking garbage, and now he's good now. I mean, he's paint chipped in a couple of areas, but, you know, no paint chipping. It's never going to paint chip because it's black plastic for the head. And now I'm finally happy with my Starscream. Wait a minute, I hate Starscream. I don't fucking care.